I debated on whether or not I wanted to talk about this in a video. It was probably, it was a very surreal moment for me, and I'm very grateful for the way that we were able to solve it. But I'm also, I don't want to say deeply offended that the question had to be asked. You know, I'll just start at the beginning. I've had my son since he was 8 months old. It's my son. I love him. I even went through the motions because I doubted whether or not he was mine. So I went and got like testing done. But by the time the results came back, I wasn't interested because I had him for so long. This was my son. Khari Jamal was my son. And I wasn't going to let a piece of paper tell me otherwise. Besides, if I wasn't the father, well, where the fuck was this guy? You know, I didn't see you here changing diapers and teaching him how to walk and holding him at night when he was scared, so I didn't bother with it. I didn't open the envelope. I don't even know where the thing is. It's like, that was forever ago. Whole lifetime. I don't even care. His biological mother, I say biological mother because by all intents and purposes, Asia is Khari's mother. By her admittance and by his, Asia is Khari's mother. Biologically, Janelle gave birth to him, but she forfeited the right to be called a mother. That's a completely different story. Before I met her, she had a child before me, whom she had lost to Child Protective Services. His name was Shakur. I think probably named after Tupac, but whatever. So, long story short, there were issues with me and Janelle, which forced us to be separated, and she ended up in a girls' home for a while. No big deal, you know, we'll work through it. And we went to court. You know what, fuck it, I'll tell you. I was 21 and Janelle was 15. I made no qualms about being older than her. It was only 5 years, and you know, it was a different time. So when they found out that she wasn't at home with her parents and that she had been messing around with an older dude, they came and they put her in a girls' home. And I went to court for it, which I was prepared for them to throw me under the jail. I was gonna man up and take whatever you sent me because this was my woman and I loved her, and this was my son and I was gonna be with him. That was important to me. Family first, right? So I go to court, and the judge gives us a very unique proposition. He says, hey, what we're going to do is I'm going to let you out, and I'm going to let you go be with this man, because I was going up to the girls' home every weekend and seeing her 2 or 3 times a week. I would give her money. I was going to the prenatal visits. My intentions were well documented. So they said, you know, here's a guy who had no ill intentions. This wasn't a one-night stand. He clearly cares. What we'll do is that when this baby is born, we'll let you out and we'll give you back your other son, provided the two of you stay together and you make a go at it. And I was all for it. I was excited about the prospect. I was excited for the opportunity. It was like, fuck yeah, I'm gonna get married. I'm gonna have 2 kids right off the bat. It's like, you know, my son will have a brother. I was excited for the prospect. It's like, all right, here we go. Let's do it. Hashtag family first. And Janelle said no. She didn't want the first one back for whatever reason. So that kind of got thrown out the window. She ended up getting put in a foster home right after. And again, I didn't like having to go see my son at a foster home. So when he turned 8 months, I said, hey, I'm going to come get him. And he just never went back. He stayed with me. I want to fast forward now to 2009. When Janelle came back into Khari's life after what I can only say was a 10-year hiatus, and she ended up kidnapping him and trying to keep him in Michigan, and she was slowly brainwashing him. She was getting to him, I think, just a little bit, because he called me and he says, if I find out that you lied to me in any way about any of this, I'm not coming back. And I remember telling him that I accepted his opinion, and if that was his choice, I would gracefully bow out and he could have what he wanted. It would have crushed me. It would have destroyed me. But my son's happiness was paramount. I wanted him to have what he felt like he wanted. I wasn't going to make that call for him. He deserved to be able to choose. He found out she was full of shit. I mean, that didn't work out. And in every sense of the word, I went back to Michigan and I kidnapped him back. So we now fast forward to last night. Kari randomly texted me and asked me what Janelle's other son's name was. I was like, oh yeah, his name was Shakur. He texted me and I texted him back and I didn't think anything of it. But when I got home, the tone in the house was different. I felt it was like walking through soup. It's like I could feel that something wasn't right. And Asia had this look on her face, and it's like, oh baby, what's going on? What's wrong? And Kari walks out of the room. I also like to note that sitting on the living room couch, there's a bathroom couch, whatever. Sitting on the couch was the photo album of when Kari was first born, Janelle in the hospital holding me in the hospital holding him, like just baby pictures, and next to him were my baby pictures. Also in this book is a picture of Shakur, because at the time me and Janelle were together, and it was like he was a kid, that's family. Also, my friend Alicia's obituary for her daughter is also in the book, but that's not relevant. And there's a picture of me and Janelle out of the book that he has very specifically. And he looks me in the eye. Oh, pig sidebar, you need to know. The pinky promise, that's a big deal for us. It was the kind of thing I always wanted Kari to know. He could always talk to me about anything, so we invented the pinky promise. Not that we were the first ones to do it, but I told him, if you give me the pinky, I will never lie to you. You will always get 100% from me, every time. So when I got home, he looked me in my eyes and he offered me the pinky. And he was like, I need to talk to you. And he has me read the back of the picture, because the clown is a picture of me and Janelle. We've got on matching shirts. It's like a cutesy little thing, and on the back is this little like dedication that I was sending to Shakur, because I had written it at the time when I was under the impression that all of us were going to be together. So it's like, oh, to my son Shakur, I hope that we finally get to be together, and even there's like a religious thing, and it's like, Lord willing, we'll be able to put our whole family back together, you know, love mommy and daddy. So he had me read it, and I didn't understand the significance of him having me read it, but with the pinky firmly in place and looking me dead in my eyes, he says,
Train 21 from Metro Control.
Is this boy your son? And honestly, a weight kind of lifted off my shoulders, because I wasn't sure what all the hostility was in the house. Like, I could feel it. It was like, ugh. But when he said that, suddenly all the pieces started falling into place, and I kind of understood where he was coming from. You see, I don't do family halfway. I don't do stepsons or stepbrothers or half brothers. If we family, we family. You know, there's no, oh, this is my step cousin-in-law on Asia's side. No, family is just family, period. So when he asked me, I looked him directly in his eyes, which was important. And I very calmly told him, you are my firstborn and only begotten son. You are my first. I promise you. Then I proceeded to tell him the story that I just told you, about going to court and Janelle and how she denied everything. And he had never heard that story. I guess in all my time with him, I guess I had never shared that. And I don't know, it wasn't intentionally that I was keeping it from him. It was just the kind of thing that 20 years ago it was a big deal, but now not so much. I had moved on from that. You know, it was hard to feel bad about not having a son whom I had never met or never seen. So it didn't feel relevant. I poured everything that I was into raising Kari. So with the look in his eye, he's like, okay, I believe you. So he had me burn the picture of Shakur, which I don't know was symbolic for him. I guess he needed that. It was no problem. And while he assured me, he said, look, I want you to know, I don't want you to go to bed tonight thinking that I'm thinking anything. You said it. I believe you. It's over. But realistically, I think it's gonna bother me for a couple of days. It's gonna weigh heavy on me that he even had to ask. Like, as big as I am into family, as important as it is to me to take care of mine, I could not live with myself knowing that I had a son just out there somewhere that I wasn't taking care of, that wasn't in my life, that didn't know who I was. That's the kind of thing that would eat at me like my entire life. You know, we hugged it out with the I love yous and, you know, believe in the shield, and we worked it out. I was talking to Asia later in the evening, and she made a lot of good points. She said that she felt like Kari was jealous of this boy because Kari's always been my son. Kari is my first officer. Kari is my right hand. You have no idea. Kari is. I am a better man for have had Kari by my side. He has defined who I am as a father, as a husband, as a captain of my ship. It is because of him. And there was, while he will never say it to me, a sense of jealousy, because if you open the photo book, on the very first page is Shakur, and he's like, why is this person on the front page of a book that's supposed to be of our family if this kid's not in our family? So I think the burning of the picture was symbolic for him. And you know, I had never really given it much thought because I wasn't the photo book type. It was actually Janelle who put together the photo book. I mean, I was always who I was when it came to family, but I wasn't overly sentimental. You know, I didn't get super emotional until I met Asia. And I was like, oh, let me compare you to a Midsummer's Night's Evening. And I wanted to like share feelings and thoughts and whatnot. I wasn't always like that. So this was really her book. And me keeping the book was really more